Hi guys, welcome to the second video of Unwrapping for Beginners, and in this video we are going to unwrap this X. So let's get started. So let's go to UV editing tab, and just as you can see, our X has some basic UVs adjusted for us, but we are going to clear it all. So what I'll do is I'll clear the sharp, because see, the blue lines are the sharp. So you mark sharp when you want to specify a particular edge as a sharp. So it is helpful in selection as well as in UV unwrapping. All right. So let's see, this is the blue, and it is when you press L. So there are multiple options to choose. All right. So if you want to choose a particular area, you can simply press L and choose normal. So it will calculate all of the normals and it will select it accordingly. So you don't have to pick every vertex and you need to select it manually. You don't need to do all of that hassle. You just need to press L on your keyboard and you'll be good to go if you wanted to select a particular area. So let's say if you have the materials applied on your object, then you can choose that particular material and it will select all of the areas in which that particular material is applied. All right. Then we have the option of scene. All right. So if let's say I mark the scene right here. Okay. So what you will do is it will simply pick the areas that have been marked as scene, and it will pick the whole area for us. Then we have sharp. So as you can see, when I click sharp, it is limiting it to this because this is the area that is being covered under this particular line of sharp. All right. So this is the sharp criteria, and last one is UVs. So when you unwrap it and you fix it on the channel maps, then it detects it and it loads it for you. So these are the few selection parameters that you can use. So let's get started. Let's press A and clear sharp. All right, let's clear the seam as well. So it will be a blank slate for us. All right. So this is the actually that we have and how we need to unwrap it. All right. So you need to understand the flow exactly. Now the principles are the same. All right. That if there is a wooden texture, it will probably be going up on a straight direction, or if you are choosing it to go on sideward direction, make sure every face of your object is following the same criteria. It's not that few faces are going up and few are going sidewards. No, it won't be looking realistic, and it is not feasible option as well, and it is very criticized in the real world projects. All right, so make sure that your UVs are aligned properly. Now how exactly to do that? So firstly we need to unwrap it. All right, so this is the condition. As you can see, I mean, this portion is fair enough, but you can see the mess that has been happening all around here. All right, so we need to fix that. But for safety measures, we need to just make sure that we are on the right track with this X also. So you won't be having trouble in understanding what exactly is going on. So let's pick this scene. All right. So this is the area from where the X is like getting flat. You can see this particular area is probably the below part of the X, where the X would be standing, or let's say the X is ending probably. So this is the last few loops of this X. So what you can do is you can simply select this edge. So you need to just double click on it and click on mark seam. All right. So we have picked an area where your seam will be broken. As I told you in the earlier video, that the seams break the texture, the 2D texture, into a 3D according to the 3D model on the surface. All right. So this is the seam that we are going to use in here, and then we need to go to the top. You need to go to the X-ray view by pressing Alt Z and see if there is a edge that we can use as a seam, so that it will be hidden also, and we can get our proper seam and flow of the texture. So yeah, here we can see that we have an edge that has been put inside the metal portion of the X. So just pick it and just double click on it and just click on mark seam. So now we have two basic foundation seams that we can use as a base to break our texture. All right, but it won't be completed before the third rule. That is, we need to connect these two seams in order to make Blender understand that we want to unwrap the texture from exact point. So by that, we need to place it somewhere below visibility. Like if the X is visible from this angle, the seam won't be in the front. So like the texture is breaking in front of the render and it won't look good. So we need to put it behind and probably below. So let's double click on this, and yeah, we need to click on mark seam. All right, so now we have the basic seam applied on the handle of the X. Now you can also do is you can mark these areas as well, but they are not properly connected. As you can see, when I'm double clicking it, it's limiting to this. So either you can take the time out and you can pick all of the vertices manually in order to make it a proper seam finishing, but I don't think it will matter a lot, because even in the real world references, when you see the X, the below face of the X is always messed up, so it won't be a problematic thing unless and until our texture is skewed right here. So we'll be seeing that after apply the texture. So just leave it for now. All right. So let's press A and unwrap. Okay, so this is the breaking that has been done by the Blender. Let's complete the basic structure of seams, then we'll refine it and we'll make sure that every edge is properly flowing. So here you can see that we have a clear edge to follow. All right, so we can simply mark it as a seam, because metal is always a good object to unwrap, because it's not that irritating to be honest, because wood and fabric that are quite precautious, but when we unwrap those surfaces, because they can simply mess up things, their seams are quite visible if you don't do it properly. But in case of metal, in case of substances that are not very texture oriented, it's fine to place the seams at the right spot without caring about the seams, unless and until it has some kind of noise or grain that is visible. It's completely okay. All right, so what we'll do is we'll pick this, and remember, these small spots are very important. If they are not connected, if your complete seam is not connected, you won't be getting that unwrapped. All right, so I have marked it as seam. We need to pick this, mark seam, below portion as well. We need to pick this, make sure that it's properly see, this is the extra area that we need to deselect by pressing the control, and we need to press on mark seam. All right, I think we are good to go for now. And also if you want imperfections for detailed modeling, then you can do is you can pick the area where the X is, like the pointed portion is getting started. So you can also pick it as mark seam. All right, so this is the unwrapping that we have as of now. So we need to just click on unwrap, and boom, all of the faces are now open for us, and it's looking good, to be honest. Let's see what's exactly is this point that's creating a face out of nowhere. So we need to just click on this and press, probably the dot will be the option to zoom, but I've changed it to cube, my preference. And you can change it as well. You can simply go to view, frame selected, and then just right click on that, and you can change the shortcut. It's as simple as that. So it's not properly break because there is a double vertex, probably because see, there are seams on both of the sides, and when you click this, so the thing is we need to take the vertex, press M, dissolve by distance. So when you do this, the overlapping goes away and the vertices get merged. So let's unwrap it again. And there we go. The face is now separated. All right. So this is the current UV, and now uh, it's turned to use the text tools properly. So go to the layout, press A, and click on overlap. So make sure that there is no overlapping of textures in your UVs because it is very important, and it's problematic in softwares like Unreal Engine. When we shift the models from from Blender to Unity and Unreal, it becomes problematic because what Unreal does is it triangulates the mesh, and when it triangulates the mesh, and if there is any overlapping in the UVs, it gets reflected. And believe me, it's very pathetic to see that. So make sure that you don't do that mistake, and also check the flip faces. So what the flip faces is, you probably having the idea of normals, right? What are the normal faces? So anyways, if you are new, it's completely fine. There is a overlay here, face orientation. So there is this concept of normals, where the normals are the blue ones. In this scenario is the face, that is probably the front, and if when we'll go inside the X, this is the red portion, which means it is the back of the normal. So what happens is, many of the times the faces get flipped, and when we export it or when we render it, it it just doesn't renders properly. All right. So make sure that your blue is always outside, and the faces that are outside of your mesh are properly blue in color when you turn on this overlay. You need to check whether all of the textures are properly managed. So firstly, let's correct the orientation. All right. So press L, press rectify. You can see the exact formation, because it won't be stretching the UVs in this manner. The UVs will get stretched, all right, because the shape is scattering like this. So just press L, rectify. Make sure that all of the it is already very good, so we don't need to touch it, but you can do it. It's your choice at the end. You can experiment it, and you can try what's working and what's not. Yeah, it's good in here. No, it's not probably. Let's try this. Yeah. So now press A, and we need to pack these. All right. So pack islands, and now you can see how organized our whole space is looking. Also, there is one more thing that I wanted to tell you, that you can use unwrap. It's completely fine, but in some objects, what you can do is you can try smart UV project. All right, so this is the automatic unwrap. What we can say is, now by default Blender gives us the angle of 66 degrees. That is fair enough in some scenarios, but most of the time what we prefer in real world development, especially in like VR things, just go on and press 45-degree angle, because this is one of the most preferred angle on which we break the objects, either 45-degree or 90-degree. All right, these are the two benchmarks that we mostly follow. You can use 66, it's on to you. I mean, there's no restriction as such, but yeah, you can follow these two for initial breakdown of the objects. In later phases, you can modify it as per your convenience. Also, island margin is the space between these two separate islands. So let me do it for you, and you'll be able to understand what exactly it is. So let me put it 0.5. All right, and let me scale it to bounds, and there we go. So this is the automatic unwrapping that Blender has done for us. So you can see that it's looking good. It's not bad, but you can see the wood is break into 4 parts, which is not good for our texture, because the thing is the seams will be visible from different angles, and it is not good. So what you can do is you can try breaking it at, let's say, 90-degree. So yeah, this is also a good breakdown that we are seeing, although the this portion is divided into two, but other portions are looking fine as of now. Alright, but here we are not going to follow that. We are going to just unwrap it. And also, before you pack your UVs, make sure to average them. So here is the option, average island scale, and then again pack it. Alright, seems fair enough. So let's apply the texture and see how our texture is looking, and later we can modify it. So first of all, let's check it in the checker map as well, because the base is that it will show you how exactly it's going to look. And there we go. So as you can see, our texture is looking quite even distributed. There is no stretching as of now, but yeah, this portion is a bit stretched, but don't worry, because it's the metal portion, and I don't think it's going to create a problem for us. It's going to be fine. See, the pillow faces are properly placed. The top surface is also properly placed. There's no any kind of stretching. All right. So yeah, we are good to go in this. There is no point. Either you can do this. You can make one more seam here, and make this less stretched. But I think it is feasible. It's forgivable at this moment, and we can go through with this. All right, so we are good to go. Now let's apply the texture and see how exactly our X is gonna look. All right, so this is the texture that we are getting now. You might be saying that you were talking about horizontal and vertical. Now you can see the texture is going sideward. It's completely fine. I mean, it's looking good, but in order to change it, there is a simple step. Just press L and rotate it as per your liking. I mean, on exactly 90 degrees. Alright, and press A and just go on pack islands. And remember to turn off this rotate option, because if this is on, then it will leave it as it is, because it won't be rotating it. But if you turn it off, it will rotate the texture and it will adjust all of the other faces accordingly. And there we go. Here is our X, properly textured, no stretching at all. You'll be seeing the seam right here that where we placed. And yeah, this is the X that we have. And you can see the metal portion as well. It is not, although I have to use a texture that has some details in it, but it's looking good as of now. And the shading that you are seeing is because of the mesh that's there. It's not about because of the texturing that we have done. All right. So in order to improve this, you can simply put a loop. Yeah, it's good. It's properly shaped. You have done a good job. So this was it for this particular tutorial, and we'll be seeing you in the next one with the final video, in which we'll be unwrapping the seed. So make sure to follow, subscribe, like, whatever you want to do. Until then, keep learning, keep growing.